Should you save for Kazuha? Yes. There is only one answer to that question. The answer is yes. Start saving now. Kazuha is like the best character in the game almost. I would say at this point Nahida is better. She's just too good, right? But Kazuha is the second. He is the second. It's either like Zhongli, yeah, he's good, but he's not doing what these two characters are doing, right? There's too much damage on the table that these two characters give, all right? So what is Kazuha? Kazuha is the best buffer in Genshin Impact that we have. Now, I say buffer. I would not consider Nahida a buffer. Her appliance is really what you're looking at, and then, you know, she has a buffer to some extent, but she also does off-field damage that is really good. So does Kazuha, but we're talking about application here. Kazuha's not really here for application. He's really, I would say, Nahida is a buffer and a support at the same time. That's how crazy she is, right? But Kazuha is just a buffer, and he is really, really good at it. Like, there's no other character better than him. If we're talking strictly the amount of damage buff he can give to a character, there is no other character better than him. So Kazuha, based on his EM, gives a damage buff. So Kazuha gives elemental damage bonus based off of his EM, right? So 0.04. Now, it is not uncommon to actually get Kazuha at 1000 EM. So Kazuha, if we're just assuming, you know, he has 1000 EM, right? Because, I mean, 978, I could easily get some more EM. Kazuha is very close to 1000 EM. If you have his best in slot, he will give you more EM, but we don't, so sad. But this is his second best in slot, which we'll go over in a minute. But Kazuha can give a 40% elemental damage bonus. Now, I'm going to show you what the difference is between Ayaka with and without this elemental damage bonus. So, depending on the situation, Kazuha's effectiveness varies, right? I'm using Mistsplitter on my Ayaka, which is giving her a fairly decent amount of elemental damage bonus already, which is something that, you know, we don't really want to see. We're not going to use the Mistsplitter buff. All right, so 8,777, all right? So, with the Mistsplitter buff, that's 9,300. You're just going to have to trust me on that because I feel like we could do more as I talk about Kazuha, I guess. What the Mistsplitter does is give a whole bunch of elemental damage bonus, which decreases the effectiveness of Kazuha, right? We've said this. Because I want to look at a character just completely normal, right? I just want to look at these characters if they have the 46% on, like, their base default, right? So let me make sure. So I'm realizing now what Mistsplitter does because I just thought, you know, why? Masanori, worst character in the game. Actually, the worst character in the game. I'm realizing what Mistsplitter does now. Most of its stacks just come from you using your burst, which I completely forgot. I thought you needed to use your E skill for. I think I got Mistsplitter confused with Thundering Pulse. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely forgot, because this is basically the exact same, but just if you have your E skill. I thought all we were doing was getting the energy is less than 100%, right? But no, we're getting most of the Mistsplitter buffs. We're missing 12% elemental damage bonus, so it's not that big of a deal. So I'm not gonna do another test here. Okay, we're gonna do it this time. Yay! Only 12%, and we went 14,000. So we went up what? So starting at like 8,777, and then we have 14,000. 63% almost. So yeah. So 63%. It's not bad. That is not bad considering, you know, Ayaka actually is getting, you know, damage buff. So 60%. Going up by an extra 60% damage buff for only a 40% buff and realistically. So why did we get an extra 60% for what is supposedly a 40% buff? Well, Viridescent. Viridescent decreased Masanori's cryo resistance by 40%. The 40%, we probably, realistically, without this set, probably not doing that much, right? So, realistically, Kazuha's individual buff probably wasn't as high as we think. Most of this should come from this elemental res, right? Most of the buff probably did come from Viridescent, but it still is a part of Kazuha because he's that insane. Another part of Kazuha is his weapon. Depending on the weapon you have, first of all, completely free to play. You don't have to spend a single, like, primo gem for it. Just get it. That's literally all you have to do for this weapon, which is his 3rd best in slot actual weapon. And then we have Zypho's Moonlight, which is his best in slot 4-star weapon, which gives energy recharge to the entire team. And if you have some refinements on it, it can give Kazuha himself 72% energy recharge and like 20% to everybody else. You know how crazy 20% energy recharge is? So my energy recharge would go up to 130%, which is an extra 50% technically, given on what I already have her. So if I had Kazuha's weapon R5, I would have 130% energy recharge on my Ayaka, a whole bunch of characters that I use. Like my Raiden would be at 290% energy recharge. I would switch off of this energy recharge Sans, right? I wouldn't have to do that. But currently, I still probably can switch off of it, but I just don't feel like it. My Yoimiya would have energy recharge like that. Yelan would get an extra 20%, pushing her over 200 energy recharge. Xingqiu, Shangling, all of these characters, Bennett, all of these characters would get an extra 20% energy recharge if I had Zypho's Moonlight at R5, which is a tall task, right? It is a tall task. I only just got this, right? Very bad. But it is still a weapon that is really good for Kazuha and should be taken into a factor at least a little bit. Now, let's talk about his 5-star weapon. I believe it gives normal attack damage bonus and then actual attack percent, and it also gives him more EM. So this buff goes even harder. Like this buff goes even better, right? So the Freedom Sword is his best in slot, most likely. You can argue that this is his best in slot. You can. If you need the energy recharge, then this could be his best in slot for a team that you're running. But Freedom Sword most likely is. Also, it depends if you need Freedom Sword's passive at all, because some characters like Raiden really don't benefit off of it. Kazuha is a massive walking W. Like, honestly, Kazuha is just too good to ignore. Listen, if you're going to summon for him, which is why I'm making this video. He is too good to skip. And he is coming in the next 2 updates, probably. I'm assuming 3.8 is the last update of this, and he's going to be the last character that they want to release because he's so broken. They don't want to release him all the time, so like, okay, yeah, you can have your rerun at the end of every single update. You can make us money this way because you're just that good. You'll end up making money right before our, huge update that we've been advertising, right? When most people want to save. However, I'm telling you, do not save. Like, listen, Kazuha is too good to miss. He is just too good. Kazuha has lost effectiveness due to the Dendro absolute domination of the game, and he doesn't interact with Dendro, so he's lost a little bit. But any other character, they can release any character. Let's say they release the Hydra Archon, and she's a DPS character, which hopefully she's not. I would like the full Archon team to have another support other than Venti. I think Venti is actually pretty bad. I'm gonna be real. I don't like Venti on the full Archon team. He really just none of the content is centered around him. So if they release that character, look at him. He's looking right at you. He's like, oh yeah, I can make that character good because I'm insane. He buffs any character and makes them good. As much as I hate Kokomi, she could do decent damage with Kazuha, like barely decent, right? It's 20,000 per hit, like, and you have to sacrifice a lot for that, all right? A lot. I summoned for Kazuha, and in fact, I summoned for his constellations also, which really don't affect anything that I've shown in this video. I got it very early. Like, I think he was very nice to me, right? I summoned for his C2, and I have not looked back since. Kazuha has been a staple on my team. He is, if I didn't say it already, he is pre-Nihida. You just slap 3-4 stars with him, and he's good. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Make sure to summon for Kazuha, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.